Welcome to the February newsletter. This is the Revesby Liveries report. We're looking down the trackway in my field, and this is my system of making sure that at this time of the year when the grass is in short supply, my horses keep moving and they can visit the little feed stations along the way. I'm sure you've all heard the saying, 30 days hath September, etc. We horse owners think that January has at least 500 days because it really seems to drag on. It's probably the hardest time of year for us because grass is in short supply and we're having to feed supplementary feed. It's easy to put out hay in hay nets, which most of us do, but we have to also be a little more imaginative. So this owner has opted for what really is nature's way, feeding the horse from the ground. The disadvantage being that the horse can trample on the hay and waste it, or the hay can blow away. But at the moment, this is working very well. So this is an interesting alternative. This is a hay ball. You stuff as much hay as you can inside this, and the horse has to work to get it out. It's a really good system because it takes them a lot longer to eat, so they are kept busy and trickle feeding as they should. The disadvantage of a hay ball is that some horses just enjoy kicking it under the fence. So we have another alternative, which is this hay feeder, which has flat sides and actually is a bit harder to kick out. Here's another alternative, and this is ideal if you've got more than one horse. I've got 2 ponies here feeding from this one. It's a big galvanised hay rack, and to slow them down even further, it's got a small hole hay net tied inside the rack, so they really have to spend some time keeping busy and pulling at the hay, which is absolutely ideal. This next one is just a shot of the whole hay rack. So here's another solution to trying to keep a horse eating and busy, and this person has used a wooden hay box, but she's slowed the horse down a little bit further by tying the hay nets inside it so that the horse has to pull at the hay in small amounts. Again, this is a really good idea to save wastage, and it also works well if you've got more than one horse. As you'll see from the next picture, these 2 are happily sharing a hay. This is working really well for horses that can just be fed dry hay. Unfortunately, there's always an exception, and a few of us have horses who have intolerance to the sugar content in hay, and we have to soak the hay in order to reduce the sugar content before we feed it. Here's my answer to having to soak hay for my horse. So as if by magic, the nets are rising from the hay soaker because I've got a winch here. This has been very good for my back because nets which are soaked overnight obviously have a lot of water attached and are extremely heavy. So we rigged up this device to help us lift them out and drain them. Following the video, you can see by the colour of the water in the hay soaker how much the sugar content has gone into the water and therefore is reduced in the hay. And now I can feed that hay to my sugar intolerant horse, which is a problem that I know some of the other liveries have got as well. One thing about Revesby Liveries is we're always willing to share expertise with each other. And during this consultation, it's been really interesting to talk to everyone and see why they're feeding their horses in the way that they are. I'm also attaching, alongside this video, an article about how to feed horses correctly during the winter. And here's a sequel to the main article. This is Bob showing how much he enjoys his trackway system. He can't wait to arrive at the next feed station. And finally, I'm going to let Keith have the last word. This is what he thinks he should do with his ad lib supply of hay.